You wake up. Your eyes open. The room is dim. You had a dream. You know you had a dream. It was vivid. It was strange. It felt real. And then, it's gone. Vanished. Like smoke in the wind. You try to grab it, pull it back, but all you're left with is a feeling, a whisper, a ghost. And within minutes, even that is gone. You go about your day. You forget you ever forgot. But you did. Every single morning, you lose something you spent all night creating. And you don't even notice. Why can't you remember your dreams? It's one of the most common, most universal, and most frustrating experiences in human life. And scientists still don't fully agree on why it happens. But they have some ideas, and some of them are stranger than you'd expect. Let's start with the basics. You dream every night. Actually, you dream multiple times every night. During REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep, your brain is almost as active as when you're awake. Your eyes dart back and forth. Your heart rate increases. Your breathing becomes irregular. And your brain is busy. It's replaying memories. It's processing emotions. It's solving problems. It's making connections. And it's doing all of this without your conscious awareness. You're not there. You're just watching. And then you wake up. And you remember almost none of it. The statistics are staggering. About 90 to 95% of dreams are forgotten within minutes of waking. Within 10 minutes, half of what you remembered is already gone. Within an hour, almost all of it is gone. It's like your brain has a built-in delete button, and it hits it every single morning. So why? The first answer is structural. During REM sleep, the part of your brain responsible for memory formation, the hippocampus, is not fully online. It's active, but it's not storing information in the same way it does during waking hours. The hippocampus is the engine of memory. It takes experiences and encodes them so you can replay them later. But during REM sleep, the hippocampus is essentially offline. It's not recording. It's not filing. It's just watching. So the dreams you have, they're happening, but they're not being saved. But here's where it gets interesting. It's not just that your brain isn't recording. It's that your brain is actively preventing you from remembering. In 2015, researchers in Japan conducted a study that identified a specific neuron in the brain that controls memory retention during sleep. When they activated this neuron in mice, the mice held on to their memories. When they suppressed it, the mice forgot. This suggests that forgetting dreams isn't a failure of memory. It's an active process. Your brain is choosing to forget. But why would your brain choose to forget? The leading theory is that dreams are a form of memory processing. During sleep, your brain is sorting through all the information it gathered during the day. It's deciding what to keep and what to discard. Dreams are part of that process. They're the brain's way of making sense of the chaos. But once it's done, there's no reason to keep the dream itself. The dream is just the packaging. The content is what matters. So your brain discards the packaging. It keeps the insight, the emotional resolution, the connection. But it throws away the story. And that's why you can wake up from a dream and know something important, but you can't remember the dream itself. Your brain saved the lesson, but deleted the lesson plan. But there's another layer. Dreams are often strange. They're surreal. They're illogical. They're emotionally charged. And that's because during REM sleep, the part of your brain that processes logic and reason, the prefrontal cortex, is also offline. This is the part of your brain that acts as a filter. It's the critic. It's the editor. During the day, it's constantly evaluating. Does this make sense? Is this true? What's the logical conclusion? During REM sleep, the filter is off. Your brain is free to make connections that don't make sense, free to jump from one idea to another, free to create impossible scenarios. That's why dreams are so strange. But when you wake up, the filter comes back online, and the dream doesn't survive the inspection. It doesn't make sense, so your brain discards it. And then there's the question of why you sometimes do remember a dream. It happens, maybe once a week, maybe less. But sometimes, a dream sticks. You wake up and you remember it. You can replay it. You can describe it. Why does that happen? The answer is timing. If you wake up in the middle of a dream, during REM sleep, your brain hasn't had a chance to erase it. It's still fresh. The delete button hasn't been pressed yet. That's why if you're woken up by an alarm clock in the middle of a dream, you're more likely to remember it. You've interrupted the process. The memory is still there, waiting to be filed or discarded. But you interrupted the filing process, so the dream survives. And there's also the question of dream content. Dreams that are emotionally intense. Nightmares, dreams about loved ones, dreams about important events. are more likely to be remembered. That's because emotion is a powerful memory enhancer. The brain prioritizes emotional content. It's a survival mechanism. If something is emotionally significant, your brain will try to remember it. So if you have a dream that makes you feel something, fear, joy, sadness, there's a higher chance you'll remember it. Even if the details fade, the feeling lingers. But there's another explanation. Some researchers believe that dreams are not meant to be remembered. They're meant to be forgotten. And forgetting them is actually the point. Here's the argument. Your brain needs to process a massive amount of information every day. It's constantly reorganizing itself, creating new connections and pruning old ones. If you remembered every dream, you'd be overwhelmed. The brain would be cluttered with useless information. So it evolved to forget. Forgetting dreams is a feature, not a bug. It's the brain's way of keeping itself clean and efficient. And there's also the question of why we dream in the first place. If we're not meant to remember them, what are they for? The leading theories include memory consolidation, emotional regulation, threat simulation, and problem solving. All of these functions are essential. But none of them require you to remember the dream. The dream is just the byproduct. The real work is happening underneath. The story is a distraction. The lesson is what matters. So why can't you remember your dreams? Because your brain doesn't want you to. It's not a failure. It's a design feature. You're not supposed to remember. You're supposed to wake up feeling something. You're supposed to have a new perspective. You're supposed to process the day. And then you're supposed to move on. But there are ways to remember more. Keep a dream journal. When you wake up, write down whatever you can remember, even if it's a single image or a single feeling. The act of writing it down signals to your brain that the dream is important. Over time, your brain will start to treat dreams as something worth remembering. You can also set an intention before you sleep. Tell yourself, I will remember my dreams. It sounds simple, but it works. Your brain responds to intention. It will prioritize what you ask it to prioritize. And there are people who remember their dreams almost every night. Lucid dreamers, people who can control their dreams, often have much better recall. That's because they're more engaged in the dream itself. They're not passive observers. They're active participants. And active participation helps memory formation. So if you want to remember your dreams, you can. You can train your brain to keep more of them. But you have to decide that it's worth it. You have to decide that those fleeting stories, those fragments of sleep, are worth holding on to. But here's the thing. Even if you don't remember your dreams, they're still working on you. They're still doing their job. You might not remember the story, but you're carrying the feeling. You might not remember the plot, but you're carrying the insight. You're a different person because of your dreams. And that's what matters. So the next time you wake up and reach for a fading dream, don't be frustrated. Don't be disappointed. You're not losing something. You're integrating something. The dream is doing its job, and you're doing yours. You're moving forward. You're growing. You're becoming. The dream is just the packaging. The real work is underneath.